Men of Reddit, what myth about men is 100% untrue and infuriates you when you hear it? Men can't multitask. Every time I hear that I have to stop what I am doing so I can get angry. Fuck. Where to start? I was a stay-at-home dad for 2 years. The sheer volume of Karens at parks and playgrounds used to drive me up a wall. They were always dumbfounded when I didn't need their help. Yes, I can change a diaper. Probably faster than you can. Yes, I have snacks. Celery, carrots, and a little ranch. Yes, I have drinks. Water bottles and juice boxes. Yes, I have lunch. Chicken cutlet sandwiches. No, we didn't buy them at the deli, I can actually cook. No, I don't need wine. It's 10 a.m., Karen. Get a fucking grip. No, I'm not going to a strip club. No, that doesn't mean I'm gay. I am not a male myself, but I hope it is okay for me to comment. It really annoys me when people say that men cannot be raped because if they got a hard-on they must have wanted it. Shit like that causes men to not report rapes and makes them feel shit about themselves. Anyone can be raped, no matter age, sex, or if the rapist is married to them. No means no. It is as simple as that. Men can't show emotion in public unless it's anger or greed. I really hate how fruity drinks are associated with women, like damn can I just enjoy my strawberry daiquiri. Men can't be abused by women. Daughter to a single dad here. There was this myth I discovered when I was young. It's something almost all my female friends were told, but thankfully not me. The myth is the belief that there are such things as girl business where only your mom or other older females in the family should help you with. As the only girl in the house growing up, my dad helped me understand and deal with a great many girl business problems. Meanwhile, all my friends had their moms to handle it for them. When my friends found out my dad was sort of in charge of handling those with me, they were shocked. They asked me why I didn't have an aunt or grandma to help instead. Well, my aunts all live at least 10 hours away and grandma is even further. I began to realize over the years that there might actually be negative side effects to this girl's only way of thinking. Sure, having another female assist you with those issues might be less awkward and embarrassing, but there's already an inherent awkwardness and embarrassment associated with it. Learning to overcome the embarrassment is part of growing up and accepting your body. Furthermore, I have since grown up and began studying psychology, and done some research into this further for my studies. I'd have to do a more in-depth and wide-reaching survey and analysis to come to findings I'd be comfortable with being peer-reviewed, but I have a theory that the girl's only mentality causes relationship issues later in life. Young girls grow up thinking that there are some aspects of womanhood men not only don't understand but can't understand. It makes them not only less trusting of male partners, but also keeps them from seeing men as equals when it comes to parenting. Sure, if you're a mom of a young girl, there's no reason for you to not continue helping her with all the complex feminine issues she's going through. Just be careful not to make her think her dad doesn't empathize or understand too. Don't make him this distant third party who will never get it, or someone who should not be involved because he has a penis. That's the same toxic female attitude that causes soccer moms to call the cops on a dad when he takes his daughter to the park to play. Men can parent too, and they're surprisingly good at raising young girls on their own. Edit number 1. Thank you to the guys who have sent PMS to say thanks, and to the few who asked for some advice, I wish you the best of luck. Thanks for the gold. All men are perverted scumbags that only want sex. Just because I have a dick and you have a vagina doesn't mean I'm trying to get in your pants. I want friends just like anyone else. But when I try to talk to people like my guy friends, they assume I'm trying to date them. No, I just like asking my friends how they were because I hate people who only talk to you when they want something. So I talk to everyone as a show of you are my friend, not the services you offer. That we can never not be in the mood, and if we are, we must be sick or cheating. That men find it normal to cheat and brag about it. Get too close to a child and you are automatically branded a pedophile. I work as low-tier manager in toy store, and even though I have company t-shirt and name tag, people still ask me if I work there. People still look at me weird when I am going around the store doing whatever. It's sometimes hard to ignore. I just hope people will understand that working at my dream job doesn't mean I want to do stuff to their kids. It hurts sometimes. Edit. Thanks so much for all the comments and my first silver. If I don't answer immediately, I am sorry, but sleep calls and I got work tomorrow. Have a great day, Redditors. I want to wish you all Merry Christmas, and as someone who works in toy store, piece of advice: buy toys now, give it few weeks and everything popular will be gone. Much love. We're all unable to control our nature to have sex. Believe me, if I couldn't control myself, you'd have noticed by now. Men are worse communicators than women. Really depends on the man and the woman. Showing emotion is a weakness. It isn't. We have just as many emotions as women, and our emotions are just as valid. That if we like children but don't have children of our own, we're automatically given at the very least a little grilling, if not straight out asked if we're a pedophile. I like dogs too, for pretty similar reasons. Nobody ever asks me if I'm a dog fucker. Not sure if it counts as a myth, but most TV portrayals, the guy's a dumbass and depends on his wife for literally everything. It's annoying and played out. I don't know anyone close to my age that lives like that. Quick edit. I do know plenty of old people that do in fact live like those portrayals, or did before their respective divorces in some cases. Erections mean we want sex. Even as adults, they can still be random. The whole men think about sex every 7 seconds thing. If you think that's true, I have a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. That we cannot parent as well as a woman. That we need a random woman to come hold a man's child because they're crying. That we are babysitting when our spouse isn't with our babies. Men who works at daycare are pedophiles. Every year there are people who complain I work there. That dads are dopey morons barely capable of caring for themselves, let alone their kids. It's getting better now, but back in the day basically every guy on TV was a sports obsessed, car/motorcycle loving, beer swilling moron who couldn't function without his wife to look after him and the kids. My wife went away last week for work and I'll have you know that only half my kids got eaten by wolves. Men just wait around for a woman to inform them that they are now dating. I'm not trying to claim that women come up to me in bars especially often, but on the rare times they do, there is a definite sense of, I am under no obligation to actually attract you as a mate. I exist and am female, and therefore by default you want to date me. Once, When I tried to politely decline, the woman chastised me in the bar for 5 minutes, demanding to know what my excuse was, what reason I could give her. She simply assumed that the default was that I, as a man, want to date any woman, and that I have to justify not being attracted to a specific one. That we miss signs that women give them because they are stupid. We see them, but we don't want to be creepy/jump to conclusions. Edit, or we are not interested. Men think about sex every X amount of seconds. I'm a grown man with a life. I have more to think about than just sex. That we're all not interested in or incapable of being involved in the planning of our weddings. I cannot tell you how many comments like "Remember, it's her day, not yours," I received during the 2-year lead up to our wedding. I'm not going to lie to you and say I'd been looking forward to getting married since I was 12 or something, but I took an active interest together with my wife in the planning of our wedding. It's not my day, it's hers. Fuck that. It was our day. We planned it together. Her vision definitely brought it all together, and she did a fucking astounding job, but she didn't just make decisions on her own. We talked together about and worked together on every single thing involved in the event, and we were both ecstatic with how it turned out. It turned out beautifully. I try not to toot my own horn very often, but I never thought the best party I'd ever go to would end up being my own. I really hate how commercials pin us as completely incapable of taking care of children. Real men don't have emotions. Yeah, go to hell. Ski racer. I didn't sleep well night before training, told my female coach I was really tired and I was worried I'd hurt myself if I tried to push it. She didn't care, said man up and race. Ended up crashing bad, broken leg, not being able to ski for the rest of the season. Made a promise with myself to never speak to her again, whatever the circumstances. If I'm with my daughter, I'm not babysitting, I'm being a father. There are plenty of fish in the sea, just get over it. Fuck you. I liked that fish. Even if it was kinda mean and cruel. That we are not afraid of walking alone through a dark car park at night. After a great deal of asking everyone from police, to self-defense instructors, to a Green Beret and a bunch of combat vets, to the most cracked out gun nuts. Not met a single person who had no fear. If a woman physically assault a man, he somehow must have done something to deserve it. This gets even worse in those cases where male victims of domestic abuse are getting arrested in case the police gets called, even though they are the victims and not the attacker. I probably don't want to fuck you. It's usually a big decision with like some anxiety figuring out if I actually want to sleep with you even if I'm already interested. Although promoting ourselves as Captain Horndog makes us look cool to other guys, so a lot of dudes do that, or they're desperate. We are less mature than women, no exceptions. The whole shit with you are a man when it comes to pain, lifting, sadness etc. If you expose us to radiation we gain superpowers. In reality this has only happened a few times and most men would just die. That we would have sex with anything that has a heartbeat. 100% untrue, I've had sex with inanimate objects too. All men are the same. God, I wish. Can't tell you how many times I've been to a stupid event with my girlfriend and she disappears and I'm left hanging out with the other boyfriends and husbands and there's nothing for us to talk about. I'm not into car shit or sports or any other basic male activities. All men are not the same. Not a man, but I've seen too many people say something along the lines of men can't get raped or it's not as bad for them as it is for a woman. Fuck you. Edit. The amount of victims responding is heartbreaking. I'm glad you guys can share your experiences here, at least. Please know that you are not alone. Here's an example of a support group dedicated to male victims of sexual violence, https://oneinsix.org. It's hard to find specialized counseling support, but it is definitely there. You can do this. Me having big feet only means that I wear big shoes. And seriously, what makes girls think they can just come up to you and ask about it? Never been a fan of men can't go 6 seconds without thinking about sex. I mean, yeah, we all go around rock hard ready to hump something all hours of every day all the time. I often find the women who scream that ultimately have nothing else to offer in a relationship, so they accuse men. I'm not sure if this applies, but any statement saying something like all men are, or men are so, as if men are the only ones with those personality traits. People get roped into stereotypes so quickly, and it's annoying. That all we care about is sex. Like, bro, we like to hug and cuddle too. Edit. Why the fuck is this blowing up? That we only tell women our feelings to coerce them into bed. Like, wow, how new and amazing this relationship is. I'm so glad I found you. That is uncomfortable vulnerability, not some sort of plot. That men enjoy being raped. WTF is wrong with people who think that? The phrase man up. Not a myth, but still fucking pisses me off that just because I have a dick, I'm not allowed to feel bad. That we only ever think about one thing. Technically that's true at times, but it's rarely the one thing you assume it is. For example, the only thing I can think about the past few weeks is how fucking cute Baby Yoda is. I mean, what the hell? Is it even legal for something to be that fucking cute? That we are rapists by default, and therefore being a good person is the part that takes effort. I'll never understand the very common belief that men can't or refuse to care for children. It's okay if I get raped, men just love sex. It is just fun, rude and untrue. Myth. All men like having their balls played with and sucked on. I don't. It hurts. That only women suffer from negative body stereotyping. Really? Really? I grew up in the 80s. Have not seen He-Man? Schwarzenegger, Fabio, Jason Momoa. All men are creeps. A few arseholes ruin it for the rest of us, and now some poor random guy is getting arrested for pedophilia because he was watching over his kids on the playground. The other one that bugs me is the assumption that men don't care about their children. People see a guy with his children and are all like, oh, mommy must be busy, are you having fun babysitting? No, he's spending time with his kids, like any good parent, you fucking arswipe. Edit. Can't spell, apparently. Edit 2. I did not mean to imply that my first paragraph is common or that all pedophiles are innocent, and I apologize for all of the issues this had caused. I am no longer going to answer comments, because apparently every time I do I put my foot deeper down my throat, and believe me, that's not the deep throating I want to do. Every time I type out another comment I seem to tarnish my statement worse, so I shall no longer be responding to comments on this thread. I am deeply sorry for all the problems this has caused, and if you wish to continue to talk with me, my inbox is open. Sorry, again. I'm just terrified that as a nursing student, if I hug or comfort a crying child, I might get labeled a pedophile, and lose all my dreams. I'm not a man, but one thing that annoys me about men's stereotypes is that they can't be friends with girls without wanting a shag. Most of my friends are guys, and none of them have ever tried to get with me. Men can just be friends. It is possible. This whole be a man shtick that leads guys to internalize their problems and marinate in their own issues and neglect their mental health drives me nuts. It took me a long time to find female friends just so I'd feel comfortable talking about my depression and get advice on how to get the help I need. If I did not, I would without a doubt be dead right now. I stamp this thinking out wherever I can find it. It was almost the death of me. Only men can be sexist. Looks like it's more culture specific, being with the father figure by mother/grandma. Like if you messed up or misbehave, if your dad finds out, you'll be in trouble. Worst case is when dad is told the story in a way that he gets angry and fulfills those threats. It wasn't only in my case, most of the guys I've been talking with had the same case. Like, WTF. That all those rich white guys in Congress are looking out for me because I, too, am a white guy. They don't give any more of a shit about me than they do about you. Okay. Ignore my username for a second. Truthfully, guys don't always want sex. There were times with my ex when she wanted sex and was confused or upset that I didn't want it at that point. Sometimes cuddles are enough. But if I'm gonna be browsing Reddit anyway, I may as well attempt to get flashed. When a guy buys a big truck, sports car, motorcycle, nice boat, or anything else that he's been dreaming about and planning for since he was a child, it's really about his penis and/or a midlife crisis. That men constantly need to be reminded to do particular jobs around the house. If I say I will do something, I will. There is no need to remind me every 6 months. You can't be sexist towards men, like how minorities can't be racist. That masculinity is bad. Bad masculinity is bad, but for some, masculinity can be empowering. If you're a single man around any child, you must be a pedo. Can't even take my nephew out for lunch without women staring or the occasional mom coming up and asking him if everything is okay. We always pee standing up. We can, though when you wake up or are tired it's so much easier to just sit down and take a comfy little piss. Men are threatened by independent women.